eating McDonalds and general outlets in
Haram.
Muslim lands?
In the Muslim land?
No, sorry, not Muslim, sorry.
Started throwing me a
Sorry,
curveball.
no, sorry, non-Muslim lands. So McDonald's and non-Muslim outlets in non-Muslim lands.
It's haram.
It's not a case of Bismillah.
It's not a case of Bismillah.
Not a case of Ahlul Kitab.
No, look, the ta'am Ahlul Kitab that's in the Quran is halal. And there are Ahlul Kitab today. I'm not denying that. We have a channel for our masjid called Masjid Ribat. One Message Foundation is our da'wah channel. Masjid Ribat's for Muslims. We have a video from Sheikh Salih Al-Fawzan that he clarifies this issue because some people try to misconstrue some of the ulama and their aqwal from Saudiya. Because again, you're looking at a general fatwa. It's a general fatwa. The meat of Ahlul Kitab, Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you.
Ameen.
I'm a tea fanatic.
No.
So if you don't mind,
I don't mind it.
I did drink some water for my health conscious San Diego brothers that are always pushing me to drink water.
Now keep yourself quenched. We need you for this.
So when you look at ta'am Ahlul Kitab, the meat or the food, which again, as the Mufassirin have said, lahm, of the people of the book, it is halal. I don't deny that. It's in the Quran, it's in Hadith. Now, what is the difference between what we consider mayta, that which is dead meat, which is murdar, as in Urdu we say, right? Which is, for example, if I'm Muslim, as a Muslim, my dhabha is halal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a Muslim, if I take a hammer and I hit a cow on the head and kill it that way, is that cow halal?
No.
Even though I'm Muslim?
No.
So today when in McDonald's and Burger King and KFC and if you're from Cali, In-N-Out, right? You have meat, the cows that are shot in the head with a nail. Now, even if a Muslim did that, that wouldn't be halal. How is that ta'am Ahlul Kitab? They don't say the name of Allah in any language, right? What people don't understand, the dietary laws of Ahlul Kitab are all from the Old Testament. The New Testament doesn't have dietary laws. The Old Testament dietary laws, which is the meat of Ahlul Kitab, is what they consider kosher today.
Yeah.
Where they have to say the name of God on it, even in their own languages, where they have to make the dhabha on it. So kosher would be halal. You say Bismillah on it and you eat kosher. But the meat that is served in the UK and the US is not kosher. It's not Ahlul Kitab. These countries are not Christian countries. I don't know, you guys have a Church of England kind of thing.
They're secular countries.
But they're secular. In the US, in the Constitution, we have a very clear separation of church and state.
Same in the UK.
Same with the UK.
It's merely a ceremonial position that the Queen or the King signs the bill. Ultimately, if they refuse to sign the bill, Parliament will push it through anyway.
And interestingly, I was reading some stats. I believe less than 40% of Brits today identify themselves as Christian.
Oh, is it
something like this? Even if we take that, in the US, you would say that most average people have nothing to do with Christianity today. They don't go to church. Average people. I grew up in the US, right? They don't. If you ask them, "Are you Christian?" They'll tell you, "Well, maybe my family was." They'll kind of give you a
was Christian or something like this.
In the US, most people are not baptized today. There's the Bible Belt and all that, but that's not the majority, right? And even if they were, like I said, this meat in the West, the way it's slaughtered, is not the way of Ahlul Kitab. So don't ask. Close your eyes. Don't. Akhi, we live here. We deal with meat industries. We know these things. There's videos that, PETA. Have you heard of PETA?
No.
PETA is an organization. I think it's called People for Eating Tasty Animals. That's a joke. It's some animal rights organization, but right. They have videos where they went into In-N-Out and all these KFC farms, and they videoed how they're killed. Chickens that are not slaughtered at all, just thrown straight into boiling hot water, alive. They're boiled alive. They're stomped on. I've seen these videos with my own eyes. I've been to slaughterhouses that supply to these major chains, and they actually have a nail gun that is manufactured specifically for killing animals. It's not for nailing the wall. It shoots a huge nail into the head of the animal. This is mayta. Look, ikhwan fillah, especially in the UK, you guys have so many halal outlets. Why are you putting your salah and your dhikr at risk by eating haram? And even if there's khilaf, stay away from the khilaf. Zabha, halal is halal, right? In the US, we have a harder time, especially in the West Coast, of getting halal meat. But there was a time when I went and slaughtered my own chickens and lambs. And I didn't like shrimp and fish so much, but I started eating it because when I couldn't get halal meat. But I cannot risk my salawat and my dhikr. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us about the man who's on a journey, and ulama have said that this is an indication that he's going for Hajj, where is it covered with dust, and he's raising and saying, he's saying, Ya Rab, he's making dua, but how will his dua be answered when his eating is haram, when his clothing is haram, right? So eating haram can render your ibadat invalid. So definitely this meat in the local stores that is not dhabha and is not kosher, is not halal, it's not ta'am ahlul kitab, the name of Allah is not mentioned on it, there is no dhabha made, it's hit in the head, electrocuted and shocked to death. This is considered maita. Even if a Muslim did it, it would not be halal. And who do you know who's slaughtering in the slaughterhouse? Right? In a Muslim country, we have laws for this. Even in Israel, may Allah free Palestine,
Ameen.
may Allah bring it back to as it is.
Ameen.
We don't recognize the state of Israel,
Ameen.
but even if you go today and the occupied Palestine, they have laws that non-Jews and non-Muslims cannot make the dhabha for halal and kosher. So those are laws. America, we have no such laws. In UK, you have no such laws. So that slaughter, man, very well, and because the majority of the country is not even considering themselves Christian, can be an atheist or a Buddhist or a Sikh. You know, I've seen a Sikh slaughter, man. It's kind of weird because I think they're not allowed to eat meat, but, you know, but money, right? And I've definitely been to slaughterhouses in the US, and when I spoke to the people doing the slaughter, the majority that I spoke to were atheists.
That's crazy.
And so these people, they want to make an excuse to go eat McDonald's. Ikhwan fillah, ittaqillah, have taqwa for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.